Bill, thank you.
We stand for prayer, please.
Our Heavenly Father, here we humbly come before you to ask you, dear Lord, to watch over us, to watch over the cities, to watch over everything that's going on nowadays, dear Lord. We need protection from the evil that is entwining us from the foreign countries and all. We need prayer for our president. We need prayer for our Congress. Dear Lord, for our military especially. Dear Lord, guide us through this meeting tonight. Make sure that everything is in your will and that we're here just for the citizen, not for our own agenda. For these things we pray in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. Amen.
Let's pledge allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Straight from the agenda tonight. Shortly, I noticed that we just got notice from the Common Tourism Commission that we received. They received a $10,000 grant for the city park. Now this is for additional materials and fencing, toilet, and safety features that we're going to be putting in over there. And it'll be you'll get further information and details on this as we receive it. And at the same time, I know all of you know Mr. Terry Burkeen from the I-180 Club here in Cumberland. He's been very active in a lot of the social activities and functions in the city. And I would like for him to introduce the people that actually responsible for putting this park together for us. The volunteers that he provided actually saved the city more than $11,000, which is what the company that sold us the equipment for was going to charge us to install it. So, Mr. Burkeen, if you would, please. I'd like for you to introduce Mr. Frank Ross, and kind of, if you would, just identify him for us so that we know what type of character, what type of person he is, since he did such tremendous and outstanding work on the park.
So give you a little background information on Mr. Frank.
Yes.
As to, and all those that you know of.
And this will be just a preliminary ceremony to recognize the people that did it. We'll have a formal opening and a more recognition for those people at a later date.
Sure. Well, I was tasked by the mayor to see if I could come up with some folks who could help us install some donated playground equipment for the city. And I really didn't know at that time, just to be honest with you, how I was going to accomplish this. I just said, well, sure, I'll take care of it. But my intentions at that time were to, we as from Club 180's perspective, we do have a lot of ministry teams come in from outside areas and help within the community. And so that's kind of the first place that I went to find some help. Well, it became apparent that that was not going to take place in the time frame that needed for this equipment to get put up. And I had at that time, Mr. Frank Ross was basically the construction manager for Club 180 at that time. We employed him through our ministry to handle throughout the summertime all the construction projects and community projects that involved construction, to take care of that basically for me, so that I could focus on the kids in the summer program that we normally do. And so Frank volunteered his time. I told Frank when I asked him about doing this project, I said, Frank, I can't pay you for this. And he said, that's okay. He said, we need to get this done. So we went maybe a week or so and we were trying to put things together, but Frank basically went down there and with Jason Hall and Danny Brown, and they laid out that entire thing And as I'm just, as God provided, excavated and installed that equipment in less than 4 weeks, and they did it all on a volunteer basis. A lot of time, a lot of long-hour days in a 3.5-week span to make that little playground come together. I didn't know what to do with $50,000 worth of playground equipment, but together with this guy, we figured it out, and it's beautiful. But just to give you a little background information on Frank, I've known this family for basically 4 years now. More so toward their son Houston, because that's what Club 180 Ministry does. We minister to children and teenagers, and so in our dealings with Houston, we got to know this family. And back in the springtime, we had a team come in from Conyers, Georgia, and they came in and helped put some flooring in this family's home. And it was during that time that I learned, amidst all the struggles within the family, really what was needed. And so through some emails back and forth with this team from Georgia, I really got to know Frank. And I ended up being able to employ him for the summertime in order to help the family survive. Jeannie works during the year at the school in the Special Resources Department. So they have an income during the school year, but during the summertime that goes away. So it was good for the family to be able to have that income coming into the home. Frank and I started meeting early in the mornings and getting things lined out so that I could just basically turn that part of our ministry over to him, and he did a spectacular job the entire summer. He took care of every community construction need that we had and did it at a high level. And during that time, I really got to know him. As he and I would meet in the mornings, one of the first things that Frank came to me and said as we met during his time was, "Terry, I don't know if I can continue working with these church teams that come in here or not." And I said, "Why?" He said, "Because all I have are these T-shirts." And it was some colorful T-shirts that he had. And and it bothered him. And so I said, "Well, Frank, I think we can take care of that." So we got him some Club 180 T-shirts and T-shirts with scripture and everything. He wore these scripture-based T-shirts all summer long. And, that was good. It made him feel good about being able to work with the teams that we had coming in. A few weeks after that time, Frank came to me and he said, "Terry, this is another one of our morning chats." He said, "Terry," he said, "if I wanted to be saved and baptized, can you do that?" And I said, "Well, no, Frank, I can't, but I know who can." I said, "I can help you with the baptism, but I know who can provide the salvation for you." So we went through that process, and this man gave his life to the Lord this summer. And so he continued to work throughout the summer with us. At the end of the summer, he came to me again, and he said, morning conversation, said, "Terry," he said, I'm reading God's Word, but I just really am struggling with it." And I said, and he asked me, he said, "Can you mentor me?" And I said, "Well, yeah, Frank, that's exactly what God expects for us to do as Christians, is to help each other in that way." So now we're doing that. Well, all through that process, we were able to pay him basically on a weekly, because we had teams that were providing funds to us, and through those funds I was able to help him take care of his family. Well, the summer ended. The team stopped coming, so the money stopped flowing. And Frank and I had this discussion, and we knew the money was ending, but it didn't end until we finished that playground project. And at that moment that job ended, he went to work for the city. Let me say this. That was God's provision. Whatever's decided within this council about positions within this community, God provided for Frank and his family. And regardless of what happens from here on out, I know by this man's character and the things that's happened to him through this past summer, that God will continue to provide for this family. So, but, you know, I can vouch for this man's character in a way that I've got to know him this past summer. And I still like working with little kids. Me and adults don't get along too well. But I love kids, and I love his kids. But this is a man I want in my corner. He has been faithful to us. He will be faithful to the city, and he will do a good job. And he's qualified to do so. And he has plans to continue making himself better. And I have no doubts that he will do that and accomplish it. But Frank, Jason Hall, Danny Brown, these are men that gave of themselves to make sure that these kids had a place to play. And that's made this city a better place.
Thank you, Terry. And I agree with all that you said. Frank has already demonstrated to me and to some of the council members that he's well qualified for the job he's doing. He's a valuable asset to the city, and he's demonstrated that already. He's made a lot of cost-saving suggestions, and he's been there, and he's the one person that will take the bull by the horns and do the job without close supervision. He's right there for the city, and I don't even have to ask him to do something. Most of the time it's already done. And I learn from him because he's got the ability to teach and work. He's got the work efforts already installed in him. And you couldn't find a better qualified person for the job that he's doing.
I know he sure made my life better this summer.
And he's made my life and the city of Cumberland's life much better too. And I appreciate it.
And thank you all for helping out with the park. We appreciate that.
Mm-hmm. And I thank you for that, and I thank you for coming forward and speaking up for it. Right now, I see Dr. Ayers here, and I don't think that he has to be introduced to anyone, but Dr. Ayers, if you would come up before we get...
We need to take the roll.
We'll take a roll call vote, a roll call real quick to open the meeting officially, okay?
You don't even have quorum yet.
Barrett,
Here.
Gillum,
Here.
Elliott, Graham, Raleigh,
Here.
Bush, here, Dixon.
Present. And although he needs no introduction, he's, as you know, he's the president of the Southeast Kentucky Community College and Technical College. And he's wanting to address the council, and I appreciate you coming in, Dr. Ayers, and if you would just go right ahead.
Thank you, Mayor. I appreciate the opportunity to come and to address the council. It wasn't too many years ago that I sat for your city. I actually served 3 terms. I won one race for 1 vote. I led the ticket on 1 occasion, finished midstream on a 3rd occasion, and lost once. So I know that you're dealing with some very important issues, just as we've been dealing with issues that are important for the city of Cumberland for the past 30 or 40 years. I've come to talk with you tonight about something that is really dear to me. And I want to begin by telling you a little about my friend, the late Bob Frazier. When I first came to Cumberland, Bob befriended me. He sort of took me under his wing, if you will, and tried to teach me as best he could about some of the important lessons that one needed to learn to live and to thrive in this community or in any community. He really was a mentor for me. helped in so many ways. And I learned early on that you know, Bob had that special quality about him of wanting to help people. But Bob never did that out front. You know, he was not the kind of person that carried flags or banners and said, "Look at me." But he was always doing things behind the scenes for folks. And really, that was truly demonstrated after his death. I had talked with Bob on many occasions about what he would do with his small fortune. And he always indicated that he wanted that money that he had made in Cumberland and in the Tri-City area to benefit the people of Cumberland, Benham, and Lynch. And so Bob has established now the R.E. Bob Fraser Philanthropic Foundation. That foundation, of course, has several $1 million of capital, and it will draw interest each and every year. Bob's legacy suggests, and the foundation that has been established to provide leadership will do this. We will use the proceeds, the interest from those foundation funds, to fund projects in Cumberland, Benham, and Lynch. And when the foundation is up and fully running, I expect that will be a substantial amount of money, probably $100,000 to $150,000 a year. The college has assisted in setting this up. We just recently completed a web page which gives information about how that individuals and organizations, Terry, can apply for funds that can be used for community-wide projects. As I indicated to you, Bob was never the kind of person who would want to say, you know, "Look at me for having done this." But Bob is gone now, and he can't argue with us. And so I really think that we, the citizens of Cumberland, need to do something to remember Bob for this magnanimous gesture that he has provided for all of us, for his legacy and our legacy as well. And I got to noticing that beautiful park that was built alongside 119. And Bob loved children. He loved children. And I think it would be entirely fitting based on what Bob has done for this community and will be doing for this community ad infinitum, because these funds will be used over and over and over again. That park be named the R.E. Bob Fraser Children's Park. I think it would be something that Bob would argue about, but in his heart I think he would be pleased. I do know that before Bob died, he thought long and hard about how he was going he wanted these funds to be used. He even thought initially about helping to build a new clinic with those funds. But of course, when a decision was made to build a clinic down at Coal Town, then he pulled back from that particular project. But I can tell you that he always wanted his funds to be used somehow to help the people of Cumberland. And again, I would think that it would be entirely fitting if we could remember Bob, since he certainly has remembered all of us.
Thank you, Dr. Ayers. Is there any discussion or anything if it's in the council's lap right now, we could, and I agree with what Dr. Ayers has said completely, myself, and I think the park would be better recognized as he said, is R.E. Bob Fraser's Children's Park. And
Can we have it named the Black Bear Park?
no,
That's what we had it named to start with.
suggested, but it's
Okay.
never.
Never been.
That's what we named it.
Well, yeah, we named it, we voted on it, we
Yeah.
just had to do a resolution to,
Would you all
Change
be,
it.
would you all be agreeable to that?
I have no problem with it.
Carla, go right ahead then.
Okay. It's an honor for me to read this.
Oh, well, I got one.
I've known Bob since I was a young
I don't have a
person.
copy. We don't have
We
a
can-
copy of that.
We'll make copies. We'll go ahead and read it.
Read it and then let them-
Copies, okay?
Whereas the Cumberland Legislative Body wishes to honor and pay tribute to those individuals who made significant contributions toward the growth and improvement of the City of Cumberland and the citizens therein, and whereas Robert E. Bob Frazier, a lifelong citizen of Cumberland, Kentucky, now deceased, demonstrated loving concern for all citizens through his unselfish contributions of finances, personal assistance, and continuous efforts to provide those in need. He provided himself to be a successful businessman as well as a stalwart citizen. He provided much needed services in the field of insurance for more than 50 years, during which time he made consistent contributions to our community college, local schools, Humane Society, and other charitable organizations. Being his final gesture toward contributing to the needy causes, he made arrangements to establish the annual Robert E. Frazier Tri-City Area Charitable Trust Foundation upon his demise. Therefore, it is hereby resolved that Robert E. Bob Frazier is deserving of special recognition for his faithful and significant support that he has provided to the City of Cumberland during his life. It is with great pride that the Cumberland Legislative Body will name the existing city park located on Redskin Drive near the former high school building, the Robert E. Bob Frazier Memorial Park, as a tribute toward his memory and honor.
What's the number?
393.
393? I make a motion, we accept that
If I
resolution.
may,
393.
I really think if we could replace memorial with children.
With children,
I think
okay.
everybody knows
Yeah,
that
well,
it's
that's-
a memorial, but
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what you had said, was
Yeah,
children.
children.
Somebody else must have had a typo over
Where is that at?
there.
Bottom line.
Change that to children.
Yeah,
I
children's park.
second the motion. The motion's made and by Charles Raleigh, seconded by David Dixon, and the resolution. All those in favor so indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
I just want to confirm that the Robert E. Bob Frazier Park. Children's Park. That's what you want. Okay, yes.
Okay,
I just want to make sure it was like it.
so it's consensual vote and the resolution is approved. I think we really did something positive for the city by doing this.
like I say, knowing that he would argue about this, but secretly he would be released.
He'd probably cry too, wouldn't he?
Yeah.
He'd probably cry. Okay. I see we can go on with the schedule. We have some I see, we can follow the agenda or go on with invite the guests, let them,
I say just let them do.
then we can go
Yes.
ahead. Okay. Who all do we have here, if you would, that would,
Thank
thank you,
you.
Dr. Harris.
Thank you, Dr.
Y'all
Ayers.
have a safe trip.
Come back and see us some other time.
That's Miss Connie Owens' daughter. Mar-
Yes, Monica Owens,
Monica.
and also Steve Calvin and his wife, Horizon, are here. I'm actually from this area, for those of you who might not know. I actually used to live in Lynch. I went to middle school in Benham, and then played basketball and graduated from Cumberland High School, and even took a couple classes at Southeast before going on to Lincoln Memorial University on basketball scholarship. So this is home for me.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
Welcome back.
Thank you.
I
And
recognize you.
I recognize you too. So what I'm here in town for right now is I'm actually a workplace benefits counselor with Colonial Life, and I work along with Mr. Steve Calvert. And we all know how sensitive everything is in the healthcare industry right now, but we do believe in the things that we have, and that maybe they can add some value to you guys and for your family. So Mr. Steve knows a lot more about some of those things, and he's going to share those with you now.
Okay, thank you.
Hi, everybody. I am Steve Calvert. Monica set me up as the head, but please don't think about it that way. We are with Colonial Life. Monica's a new agent with us, and she actually lives down the street from me. We live in Georgetown. So I've taken on the task of training her and making her into a top-notch insurance agent. which I'm sure she'll be in very short order. You all did a very nice job of raising her, by the way.
And that's how we do it here.
That's right.
We came up here 3 or 4 weeks ago, and I was just amazed that it was like homecoming, and I was privileged to be part of that. But nonetheless, what we want to do today is just give you some information about who we are, what we do, and hopefully that'll lead us to a relationship with you. Monica obviously is intended to be the agent for you and whoever else would come to her door in this area. But we were with Colonial Life, and Colonial Life has been in the voluntary benefits business since 1939. I actually pioneered the whole workplace marketing scenario and that way of doing business to provide employee benefits to people. We come with a couple of endorsements today, one from the U.S. Conference of Mayors and one from the Kentucky League of Cities. We are the preferred provider for both of those organizations, both in this state and nationally. So our programs are about more than just products. A lot of good companies can present you with products, disability plans and life plans and accident plans and cancer plans and those kinds of things. But the difference between us and them, we think, and the service that comes along with it. Did everybody get the packet? So everybody has the packet, and you have what we affectionately refer to there as the paint can brochure, because it has paint cans on the front. We're very imaginative. So inside there, you'll find a number of things that we bring to you as a group, as an employers, not necessarily to your people, but to you as an organization. And some of those things being benefit statements, for instance. So what we want to do with that is to be able to have one-on-one meetings with all your employees and go over with them how much money the city provides on their behalf toward benefits. Things like workers' comp and unemployment and Social Security and Medicare payments and the things and the cost of their health care that you pay for. And anything that you provide to them, we want to be able to share that with them on your behalf. As you well know, with things like that, it always sounds better coming from a third party than it does coming from inside the office. So we've done this. We live in Scott County, you know that, and we've done this for Scott County Fiscal Court for a long time. You know that they have Toyota there to help fund those kinds of things for them. And I've done some of their enrollments, and we've shared this information with their employees, and there are a lot of employees in Scott County that have 120% of their salary going toward benefits. They don't believe that from the judge, but they'll believe it from us because we put it on paper for them. So the benefit statements are a very powerful tool to be able to help your employees understand the value of what you do for them that are above their salary. Also, we provide your human resource people, whoever they might be, with information, what's called the Commerce Clearinghouse HR website, and that's a library of information where they can go to find human resource information that's sometimes difficult to dig up, and sometimes you just frankly don't have time to do. You can go to this website and find forms you may need, military leave forms, or find an FMLA question that you need to get answered or whatever. But the bottom line is it's a service that we provide to all of our customers. My understanding is that if you had to buy it, it would cost you around $2,000 a year. Nobody wants to spend that kind of money to do that kind of thing, so we just give it away. Then we'll do full benefit enrollment for you. If you want us to enroll your health plan, we'll do that. If you want us not to, we won't. Whatever it is you want us to bring back to your payroll people, as this is what the employee has chosen for the next year, and that puts you in compliance with the Section 125 code of the IRS, and make sure that there's acknowledgement that I have chosen this benefit. We'll do all that for you, whether they're our products or not. But right now, we started today, as a matter of fact, at Eastern Kentucky University, doing that thing. Their list of benefits is about this long, and we have to go through all that with each employee to make sure that they all understand exactly what they've chosen and help them understand what their plans are, because they have options for plans. You can pick health plan A, B, or C there. We'll walk them through that and make sure that they are clear on what they have. So it's a service that we provide, and the notion here that I'm trying to give to you is that we are in fact a service organization. We do very good benefits, obviously, or we wouldn't be in business. Some of the things that we have in our benefit package we can do in group setups. We've talked a little bit with Robin about what your health plan looks like. We have some products that we can bring in alongside that to help make it better. Now, typically, all of our products are employee paid. Sometimes the employers choose to participate in them, and that's a choice that we'll make as we go along if we do business with you. But these are things that employees can use to make their benefit package better. And we do this for a number of places. Monica's just finished up 2 days working at Dr. Ayers facilities here. It's because it's time for KCTCS to do their enrollment as well. We try to do all 67 locations. That's a little hard, but we get through them. But she spent 2 days over there just now. We've been doing state government since 1968. I told you about Eastern Kentucky University. We are the only provider, and we do this entire benefits service for the city of Lexington, and just a whole pile of other people. So our business is service to employers. Our products are to the employees. We want to be your provider for those things, and that's our message to you tonight and our proposal on the table, and we just hope that goes well for us. Anybody have any questions? There are a number, and there's also a letter in your packet that sort of outlines all the things that we provide, and what you'll see at the end of each of those lines is no charge. So nothing we do necessarily creates a charge to the city. Typically, they're all employee paid benefits, but the services all come for free. It's because that's what we do.
Sounds like that makes it much easier for an employee to be more satisfied with the city. It more or less establishes a better relationship between the employee and the city government as far as recruiting goes.
That's exactly right. And a couple of years ago, part of our motto and our creed for that time was to be able to help you attract and retain higher quality employees because they have a better benefit package than the guy across the street.
I'll be honest with you, I got this packet stuck in my box and I had no idea what it was. I haven't looked at it.
Okay.
Okay, I'll be honest with you.
This is basically
So,
the first time, but we
yeah.
are working on our budget, and we're working. And let's do a study on this
So-
in comparison.
But one thing I'd like to know is, are you talking about offering health insurance?
We don't, Colonial does
Okay.
not do health care.
All right, that's what I want to know.
Now, we as agents
Uh-huh.
can do that kind of thing. If you don't have a broker, we'll be happy to help you with it. I'm an engineer by training, so I'll just engineer the whole thing
So
together.
if we have a healthcare program now,
Yeah.
and you could maybe try to come up with one cheaper, is that what you're
We
telling
can
me?
do that, or we can supplement it with some of the things we have. And when you get your rates for your health plan, you'll have a whole series of alternative plans available to you. We can say, well, if you move to this plan over here, we can put our thing in alongside it and basically take it back to the level it was and probably do so for less money. First time I put together a package like that was in one of the counties up in Eastern Kentucky, and they had 25 people on their health plan. We moved them just one deductible level from a $500 to a $1,000 deductible level, added our plan in to take up that entire gap. They paid for it and saved $12,000 in the first year.
Now, how does this relate to Obamacare?
And we don't have anything to do with that.
I mean, let's face it. I mean, Obamacare.
I meant that the kindest way.
It depends. It depends on the election. To be honest with you, and you know that yourself.
Yeah.
If we're going to have to deal with
The
Obamacare,
answer is that nobody knows.
so that's one thing we have to look at. I mean, is that going to cost us extra money? See what I'm saying?
Yes.
I mean,
You're basically in life insurance, life and savings.
We're in the voluntary supplemental product business.
Okay.
You won't find health plans in this package anywhere.
Okay.
Now, we
Okay.
can work with your health plan. I, as an agent, can bring you a health plan, but it's not connected with anything you're looking at.
okay, all right. That's what I didn't understand.
Yeah.
See, I didn't know if
Yeah.
you
But
were
I-
like
but
a
I-
broker for an insurance for a health care
Yeah.
also.
And it would be
Yes, but it's an also thing.
Yeah, an also thing. Yeah, okay.
And I'd like to add that with the situation with Obamacare and us having to, customize more of what we're gonna have to handle if that happens, then the supplemental benefits will allow you to do that. And even if you're not working here, if you take on those from us as an agent, then you take them wherever you go.
Yeah.
After you
You
go.
don't lose them.
These are all
so.
payroll
The city
deductible
doesn't
and
pay it;
payroll.
the employee pays it. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Now, you might choose to participate, because several of these things come in group format.
Uh-huh.
And you can say, well, we're going to give you $10 a month to do these things, or we're going to pay for that medical bridge that we'll put in alongside the health. You can choose that, but we choose that as we go along.
So we may could cut something that they're getting now in order and get it cheaper this
Right.
way.
Right.
It's basically
But
what
you're
it's
talking
saying.
that when you say you will choose, you mean the employee will choose.
The employees, First of all, we, the administration,
Right.
will choose how we're gonna make the offering.
Okay.
And we may decide to do a group offering of one or two of these products that you say, we're gonna pay for this for you, employees. In the background, you save some money because you've done it that way,
Right.
and then they'll just enroll. And I have 3 or 4 groups that I do that with, because they had to go to a higher deductible health plan, did not want to damage their employees. So we brought this thing in alongside there. They paid for it, still saved money, everybody went away happy.
Okay.
I have a question.
wait.
Will you be discussing that with the employees, though? Like EKU, you know, you have the health, the fair. People have the fair that goes up, and they discuss their options that's available to them and explain the benefits and give them the options that you know, they can choose from.
Yes.
Because that's very helpful.
Yeah.
I think, as an employee, to sit down with somebody that can tell me my options and explain them to me.
Yeah, has anybody been in the state government?
Yeah.
So you know how that works? You just basically walk in there and just do whatever you do.
Well, actually, I'm with EKU, so I know.
You are now,
Mhm.
okay. But you're working in somewhere, in off-site, so you'll see us next week, the week after next. And so you know how this works already. So you go through all the other vendors in a situation like that. All the other vendors come, and everybody sets up, and people walk around and get all their questions. Then they come to us, and we do the enrollment for them. So everything you've chosen over there goes on your election form right here.
Okay, as far as cost goes, is it gonna cost us for anything for you to do this?
Not necessarily.
Cause see now, I mean.
You might
we've got to
choose
think
that.
about
You might
money.
choose that, but you don't have to. Because typically, these are employee paid.
No, I'm talking about for you to do the study and to talk to
No.
the employees and
No.
stuff. I mean, are we gonna have to pay you a salary to do that?
No, we
We're told, you know, money's
we
tight.
make our money from the commissions. That's what we do. We're commission salespeople. So our objective is obviously to get people in front of us and have them like our products. To get them in front of us, we're bringing these services to you so that you can say, well, we want you to tell all of our employees this, and that gets them in the door. Frankly, a lot of them won't come if you don't give them some good invitation.
Well, that's great.
I think it's a good idea.
And then they'll walk away into
To
the
involve
next week, they'll
employees.
wonder, well, how am I going to have any disability?
What's your association of the Kentucky League of Cities have?
We're the sponsored provider for voluntary benefits with Kentucky League of Cities.
Now, that's a good recommendation.
And
right
have
there.
been for a good while. And also with KACO.
That's a real good recommendation.
I don't have a problem with any of it. I just haven't.
I don't
had a
either.
chance- I just haven't had a chance.
We
understand
we
that.
didn't really know what we had
Yeah.
there. We just
So
in our box.
our objective here tonight was to get this in front of you. It's a very simple process, and whenever you decide that, yes, we would like to proceed with that, we've got a couple of pieces of paper that we have Robin work on with us, and
Okay.
we make a call to the home office, they set up an account, and then we just work on the timing. The ideal thing is that we come have a group meeting, and if it takes several group meetings to get to all your people, fine, we'll do that. And then we'll say we're going to have one-on-one sessions tomorrow or the next day or whenever it is, so that they all come in, everybody sits down, you get an election form for everybody. I have chosen or declined or whatever I've done, so that that's on file. You're protected that way. When the IRS comes by and says, how do we know that all these people have been offered everything the same? Because they all have election forms in the
Yeah.
file.
It's really nice as an employee to sit down and have their options explained to them. It's
Yeah.
really,
Yeah. And
With,
just,
you know.
just today, as a matter of fact, in Richmond, I had a lady say to me, thank you very much for explaining this to me, because some people will just say, pick, choose, buy.
Right.
And that's not the way we do business.
it can be overwhelming.
It's
Not the
definitely good
way
to have
we-
one-on-one with each employee
Yeah.
as a group, but they always want to get one.
Well, see, it would be about the same as that being in my box, me not knowing what it is.
Yeah.
And I had to ask you questions.
That's all right. I don't mind that.
Are these
We saw
pre-tax
paint
to
cans.
us?
Some are,
There was
some
all
aren't.
pink cans.
Cancer coverage is pre-taxed. What we call the medical bridge, the hospital confinement plan, is pre-taxed. Accident coverage can or can't be pre-taxed. It depends on how it's put together. But you can't by law tax life insurance or pre-tax life insurance. You don't want to pre-tax disability. You can, but it's a really bad idea. And so the difference in that distinction is whether or not the product reimburses you for costs that you've had, or if it just provides you with a lump sum benefit. That's how you distinguish those two things.
One other question, I'm sorry.
That's
What was
okay.
your name?
I'm
Steve.
sorry.
Was it
My name is Steve Calvert.
I heard Steve, I'm sorry, but I never did get the
Steve
last
Calvert,
name.
and I'm the only person that the mayor knows from Bath County. He told me so himself.
Is that a good thing?
I don't know yet.
Okay, just
I'm working on it, though.
Okay.
And just to tell you about one of the products too, which we're not here to talk about that, but just because some people here have asked me about it, if you get a life insurance policy with us as an agent, if you have a special needs kid, they can get a policy up to $10,000 without having to have
That's great.
physicals, and you can have life insurance on them in that situation.
And beyond that,
Yeah,
it's convertible.
yeah.
So when they turn 25, they can convert it to up to a $50,000 whole life plan without any further help.
That's great.
And in other words, it might not, in some
Yeah.
situations, even be able to get it. So
Yeah.
some people have.
No
really good interest in
physicals,
it.
anything like that.
But that's the situation you can do it in.
All the life insurance plans are available up to at least $100,000 without physicals, depending on your age and some things goes beyond that some. And one of the whole life plan that we offer can be offered up to certain amounts. It's premium based, so it's going to be different for everybody. But up to certain amounts, people can get that with only one health question, that being, have you been in the hospital in the past year, or have you missed 5 or more consecutive days of work in the past year? I've actually delivered that, so it's virtually guaranteed to shoot.
One more.
I've delivered that to people with stage 4 cancer.
One more question. You all do it for cities and groups and things. Do you all do it for individuals?
Some things are available on an individual
Okay.
basis, some aren't.
All right.
But in that case, we can always go out to our other resources.
Is there a minimum or max, minimum number?
There's not.
No.
In order for us to count it as a group, we have to have 3 payers and a certain dollar amount, but that, we don't worry about that. That's,
Well, council members are eligible for that.
yeah. Anybody that you want to designate as your part-time people.
Well, if you were eligible for it now, what if you're not elected? Are you still?
Then you
How many
pay-
elections coming up?
Then you port it out. Then you port it out and pay for it.
Never
from
any
home.
guarantees.
Okay. Never a
Never
guarantee in
guaranteed.
politics.
That's exactly.
I hear that. Okay. That's very good questions. Thank you all.
I
Anything
want
else?
to add something that Ms. Barrett said. I was at Greenup County with Steve at a fair, a health fair a few weeks ago, and everybody goes through all the different vendors and things that they have, and the vendors are just handing out things, and they would come to Steve, and if they had any kind of products that he knew, they sat down, and they were just like you said, so appreciative that somebody said, okay, what does this disability mean to me if I have an, and it really, the one-on-one is a big thing to an employee, because like you said, you don't know what that whole package
No,
entails.
you don't.
It's overwhelming.
Well,
to,
and when you do
you
it
know.
one-on-one, you can just guarantee, you can speak about the things that are specific to you. Like, I talk to a lot of young girls because anymore there's 2-income families, and if they get pregnant and they don't get a salary, then they need the disability because they still need income coming. And that's something they didn't even think about. So there's a lot of value in doing the one-on-one. I just wanted to comment on what you said. That's very true.
Anybody have any more questions or anything? These booklets and things are real helpful, but I can sit and read it and still wouldn't understand what
Well,
I'm
my
reading.
next
Well,
one said I
the
just-
the
I just said, huh.
pictures are very valuable too. I'm like, ours.
Know what it was.
This is the letter, and then you have some of the benefit things are behind there. So we made copies of all those. We just left one set of the brochure. But what you're going to see in here will be, for instance, this is the benefit statement. So you see that where it's the auto parts store or something. So it's telling this employee how much this company is providing for their benefits. And it totals all that up, and it adds it to their salary, and it gives them a total compensation number. And then down below that, it tells them this person has 29% above their pay is going toward benefits. That's what we tell them. Understand here that you're getting 29% above your salary, push toward benefits. Appreciate that for what it is. On the next page, you have an election form. So that's what we tell your payroll people, how much money everybody has spent, and how much to take off on the payroll deduction. There's some stuff in there about what the enrollment screens look like. And then over in the back is the Commerce Clearinghouse website. That's what that is, and none of you probably have to deal with that, but it's in there. And then this is just a way that the payroll people here can get in touch with us. They can log into the system, get your bill offline, make changes online, pay the bill online if you want to, or send them a check. We don't care how you do it. And just be able to communicate directly with clients.
So if an employee takes that and they transfer somewhere else or something, they can take it with them in that group, or?
Yeah, and let's just say they transfer to KCTCS and go to
Yeah.
work over there. Then we can move them right into that payroll. If they don't go to work anywhere, or go home, or go to a place where we aren't, then they can still have the option to pay.
Like
for it.
retire
That's
or
one
Or
thing.
retire. Rates
One
don't
thing you
change.
do.
They just take them with you and carry on just like you
Okay.
have. The only thing
Is there a
you lose-
limit on how long they have to be into it before they can do that?
No.
Okay.
Well, that's really up to you. Now, and it kind of depends on groups and governments. We typically don't have too long a waiting period because when people get here, they want to stay.
Yeah.
I do some work with some of the staffing companies at Toyota, and we push them out a little bit because they, you know, they might keep 50% of the people that come in tomorrow. So we'll wait a while before we show up for those. But in government, you can have them be the first of the next month if you want to. So if somebody came in today to work, you'd call us. We'd be here sometime during October to enroll them. They go into effect November 1st.
I guess the next step would be to get some kind of arrangements for the next visit. So,
We'll let you work that out tomorrow.
Okay.
She's in charge. My job here is done.
I'll stop by in the morning just to follow up with you guys. I know you have to continue on with the meeting, but I'll come by before I head out of town in the morning.
bring Connie with you.
I'll try. I was working on it.
Thank you all for your time. We
Thank
appreciate
Thank
it.
you for coming.
Thank you, Steve. Thank you, Monica, and
Thank
Miss
you.
Calvert. Thank
That's
you
right.
very
Thank
much.
you very much.
Bye.
Appreciate your time.
That's, I guess, the other, there's no more visitors for any specific purpose, or maybe such as they were. So if not, we'll just get on with the,
We have these right here, the pub, we was gonna finish with the public,
Okay,
wasn't
you wanna
we? Just
do
the
that?
one, I
Okay.
think you all
Yeah,
had the
because
one,
usually we have business to discuss and they get.
okay.
they get hung
They
up.
get left out.
Yeah.
Who wants to be there? Who
They
has
get
something?
forward.
I'm Teresa Holcomb, and I have lived in Springfield for 19 years. This past summer was 19 years. Lived in the same house. And over the summer, we had a trailer behind us, on the street behind us, catch on fire. There was a family living there, 5 people, a man, a woman, and 4 kids. And the trailer caught on fire, and it did not burn down. Luckily, there was no one hurt, but these people just left. They left everything in it, food, garbage, whatever was there, they left. They even left their van parked out front for like weeks afterwards till someone finally came back and got it. It was in such bad condition that Dale Holcomb told me that he had the power disconnected from it that day because he was afraid that Rudy Ison would try to put someone else back in it, and it was not livable. Basically, it was condemnable. So our problem, myself and a bunch of other neighbors right there in the area, this past summer is we have started having problems with rats and roaches. I have been in Springfield for 19 years. I have never, ever had roaches. I killed 3 roaches in my kitchen last night. I spoke to the mayor about it 2 different times. And he has said that he's contacted Rudy Ison about it. I've given him a limited amount of time to respond. Nothing's been done. I then have heard through Margie and Danny McKnight, who have rental property in the area, that they have been told to see Dale Holcomb, that it had been given to him. So I spoke with Dale Holcomb this afternoon, and he told me that there was an investigation that was done. He took pictures of the trailer. He agrees that it's awful, awful shape. Something needs to be done with it. There was a rat in my house. My dogs killed 3 rats in our backyard. I have 2 children. I have a 13-year-old daughter and a 9-year-old son. It's disgusting. I can't stand it. And I have a husband who's a coal miner. And as you all know, hours have been cut back. His overtime's cut in half. I mean, cut completely out, which means paydays have been cut in half. I can't afford to hire Terminex, but if push comes to shove, I will. But something has got to give. I should not have to do these things because of this mess. I mean, it's awful. So it's other people that are having this problem too, but they're not here. I've got Sherry Bowman. She's had the problem. She has hired Terminex. We have Danny and Margie McKnight, who have been to the mayor several times. We have their people who are renting their house and their apartment, Lynn Boggs and or Lynn Sturgill, and I'm not sure what the girl's name is that lives up in the apartment. But the girl who lived in the apartment, which is right behind the trailer, had to move back in with her parents because her apartment got overrun with roaches and rats. So this is just a really, really bad situation. And from what I can understand from Dale, is it has, all of this has been investigated and been turned back over to the mayor. And from what I understand, there's some type of blighted building committee or something. Are you all, is there anything you all can tell me about how we can handle this? Because I know Rudy Eisen has deep pockets, and I know that we can fine him from here on out. That's probably not going to bother him. But I can't stand it. I've lived there 19 years and never had a problem, and I think it's just unfair to us that we're all having this problem now.
Where's it located at?
I live on Pine Street,
Pine Street.
and it's directly behind, which I believe that is Maple Street,
Okay.
directly behind me.
Pine Street is where, that's right out the street from you, isn't it? Right,
Bob Frazier.
right out that way.
Right.
So has the blighted building committee been notified of this?
They meet Thursday.
And,
So
We already,
really, Wayne, have you talked to Rudy about this?
We served these papers on him, but we served them several times. We served everything the papers gave me. I've served him. It don't seem to bother him.
Right.
So
well,
it's
is there
a
an
civil
ordinance?
suit right now.
there's already ordinance.
There's an ordinance, his water bill that he gets every month, Rudy's over here at the service, it shouldn't, could we tap on the penalties for these things to his bill?
Mr. Barnes, I don't believe it can, but I'll let Mr. Barnes try to explain that.
That's,
Would it be a
whatever
separate?
penalties you had that were established, I don't recall them ever saying that you could put it on to someone's water bill.
Yeah, okay, he was,
I think it was
It's
taking them
apples
to
and
court.
oranges. It's two separate
We
things.
tried that up there in
And,
Edwards.
I mean, that's not to say that you couldn't in the future pass an ordinance that said that you were going to collect your penalty somehow, but I don't know that you
And unless
have any
these
right now
major penalties would have even hurt him.
that say that you have a way to collect them that way.
How many days do they have to clean up the blighted property?
I think the mayor told me that he had had his 10 days, and
10
since then
days,
he's probably
10
had
days.
50.
Yeah, we've served all the analysis stuff.
Yeah.
Now, we've done investigation, like she said. We took pictures, we took everything, we've done step by step by step. We handed it to the mayor. So as far as I know, it's in y'all's hands or the mayor's hands or this board's hands.
Wouldn't the next step-
We've done all
Really
we
not
can do.
in our
We're
hands,
against the wall
because the
right now.
ordinance is passed.
We could-
Wouldn't,
That's up to.
couldn't we take him to
We
court?
really could, I believe, call a towing, a truck, a wrecker, and tow that trailer out and declare it blighted property. The property review committee, there's 3 people on it, can declare that property blighted. And if they do that, we can just attach a wrecker to it and pull it out and charge him for the cost.
I think that sounds
And I
great
don't know
to
if
me. I
Rudy
would love
owns-
that, but
I
that
don't know
sounds
if
too
Rudy
simple.
owns that.
Can be moved if
I
it's
believe
burned.
I believe it belongs to Don Childers out of
It's
Whitesboro.
attached to the road.
Oh, okay, it's still on the frame, I mean, it's
Yes,
still,
yes.
okay.
And I have contacted the health department. I mean, this is something I have been working on since I found the first roach.
What did the health department tell
The
you?
health department in Harlan told me it was the city's problem. That the city had ordinances that they were supposed to enforce. And the man said to me, contact your mayor, which I have done twice, go that route, and then if you don't get any satisfaction there, then in the long run, we can. He said to me, well, the mayor said to me, I needed to sue Rudy. I have no I'm not in a financial situation to sue Rudy, nor should I have to.
No, that's
You know.
true. You shouldn't.
And so, but the health department in Harlan said, Frank Davis was who I spoke with, and he said that all the people in the neighborhood who are having a problem with this can come in and sign a complaint in the event that the city does not handle it. But I'm coming to you begging you to do something. You know, this is the third time I've been to you.
Well, really, we should be able or have such a relationship that we can go to Rudy Eisen and tell him what the problems are. Did you talk to Rudy?
I have not talked to Rudy, and this is why. Because I don't know Rudy that well. I don't know him personally. I've been years ago, been through the liquor store and bought a couple bottles of wine. But I don't know Rudy well enough to go through and say, and talk with him about this and say, Because if he gets upset with me, then I'm gonna get upset with him, and then we're gonna be calling the police. And I'd just soon not go to jail, I've been there before.
You might want to talk to Matilda. That would be to
And I did think about,
Matilda. Yeah.
I did think about going by the prosecutor there, I'm
Well,
sorry.
really,
Yeah.
she shouldn't have to. The
That's-
city
that's,
has
you know,
ordinance, the
if
city
we
should
sold
handle it, I'm
papers, then
sorry.
you should know.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, really.
Uh-huh.
The way it's set up though is the city has passed these ordinances long before we were
Yeah.
ever here.
But they've
And-
never been enforced, and it's like pulling teeth to get it started, but I don't mind trying to get it started, but I need support from the people. You know, I'm just one person. Now, if the council and everybody will back me when they come in here and complaining and stuff,
Oh, yeah, we always do.
Well, if
We,
it's
yeah,
allowed.
we've never not, but you.
A
On
law
blighted
is still
buildings,
there.
we've never had.
oh, we've got laws on the books that
Yeah.
I sit right here and seen them, people avoid enforcement, see, but,
Not on my watch. Not on my watch, it's not.
this was not about.
So the next step, could it be,
The blighted buildings, you never could keep a committee, this city couldn't.
No.
And from what I hear, is there an actual committee